Alya, a young woman from central Java, decides to work as a migrant domestic worker in Hong Kong. The burden of financial struggles and the need to support her family push her to leave her village behind and work in the home of an Englishman named Mr. William, a widower with a young daughter named Emily. However, Alya faces more than just the challenges of working abroad. From the very first day she sets foot in the house, she feels an unsettling presence, a spiritual entity that seems to watch her every move. As time goes on, forbidden love blossoms between Alya and Mr. William. But their love is obstructed by a mysterious figure who doesn't want Alya to stay. The Hong Kong night sky was gloomy, shrouded in a thin mist that blurred the glow of streetlights. Alya stepped out of the airport with a racing heart, clutching her small bag tightly as if it were the only thing grounding her. "Hong Kong," she whispered, her eyes scanning the glittering cityscape. In the bustling crowd, Alya searched for the person who would pick her up. Her eyes landed on a tall man standing firmly, dressed in a black suit, holding a paper with her name written on it. Alya. With hesitant steps, Alya approached. "Mr. William?" she asked to confirm. The man gave a brief nod. His face was stoic, his eyes sharp yet cold. "Let's go," he said curtly. The drive to Mr. Williams' house was quiet. Alya could only gaze at the vibrant streets of Hong Kong, her heart heavy with unease. She thought of her sick mother and her younger siblings who were still in school. "What if I fail?" she thought. Occasionally, Mr. William glanced at her through the rearview mirror. The young woman looked tense, a common reaction from new workers stepping into an unfamiliar world. The car stopped in front of a colonial-style house. It was large, standing majestically amidst a lush garden. Despite its beauty, something about the house made Alya uneasy. Mr. William opened the front door and motioned for Alya to enter. Her first step inside was met with the faint smell of old wood and an eerie silence. "This is your room," Mr. William said, opening a door near the kitchen. The room was small but modest, with a bed and an old wooden wardrobe. "Thank you, sir," Alya said softly, bowing slightly. On the upper floor, a little girl peeked from behind the staircase. Her large, round eyes stared curiously at Alya, her face solemn yet innocent. "Emily," Mr. William called, signaling the girl to come down. Emily walked slowly, her gaze fixed on Alya. "Hi," Alya greeted with a warm smile. Emily didn't reply. She simply stared at Alya for a moment before whispering softly, "Be careful in this house, miss." Alya's days in Mr. Williams' house were filled with household chores and looking after Emily. The little girl began to grow fond of her, but every night, Alya felt something was amiss. At 2 a.m, Alya woke up to the sound of footsteps upstairs. The steps were slow but deliberate, pacing back and forth in the corridor. Sitting at the edge of her bed, Alya strained her ears. She knew for certain that Mr. William and Emily were asleep. Yet the footsteps persisted, as though someone was wandering the hallway. Cautiously, Alya opened her bedroom door to take a peek. The corridor was empty. But as she stepped back into her room, she caught something out of the corner of her eye. A shadowy figure of a woman standing at the end of the hallway, watching her silently. Alya froze. When she turned to look directly, the shadow was gone. One of the things that piqued Alya's curiosity was the locked room on the upper floor. Every time she passed by it, she felt an eerie chill, as if the room itself was alive. One morning, while tidying up Emily's room, Alya mustered the courage to ask, "Emily, why is that room at the end of the hallway always locked?" Emily placed her doll down and looked at Alya with a serious expression. "That's Mama's room." Alya was stunned. She knew that Mr. Williams' wife had passed away years ago in a tragic accident. "Mama still comes sometimes. She likes to watch Papa and me," Emily said matter-of-factly. Alya's breath hitched. From that day on, she couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't alone in the house. Despite the unsettling occurrences, Alya couldn't deny her growing feelings for Mr. William. Though reserved and quiet, he treated her kindly. One rainy afternoon, Mr. William came home earlier than usual. Alya brought him a cup of tea to his study. "Thank you, Alya," Mr. William said with a faint smile. As Alya turned to leave the room, she felt a gaze from the window behind Mr. William. When she glanced back, her heart stopped. Outside the window stood a pale woman with long hair, staring at them with hollow eyes. Alya quickly looked away, silently praying for strength. From that moment, she realized something, or someone, wouldn't let her take her place in that house.